Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be discussing in this video the brand new Thunderbolts Super Bowl trailer. It came out for me last night here in the UK, but guys, I just want to say, right, I'm getting more and more excited the more I see about this film. It feels like a return back to the, the Winter Soldier type of era, where we have real boots on the ground, kind of grounded MCU type story and narrative going on. We have kind of like what's happening with the Senate hearing and the Thunderbolts, this kind of realistic group of these kind of like mercenaries and different people from different kind of backgrounds coming together to kind of fulfill a goal, these kind of ragtag band of soldiers, if you like. And it just feels very grounded, Winter Soldier-esque type Marvel. And that's kind of what I'm looking for as a fan now. I want to move away from this multiverse, incursion, kind of craziness stuff that we've been getting in recent years. And I think a lot of people are excited for this movie because of that very reason. But anyway, let's get in, break down this information, and see what we can learn about what's going on with the Thunderbolts. And then what we're going to do in the second part of the video, we're going to go over and we're going to talk about the Sentry, a little bit more about the character, so you guys who may not know can learn a little bit more about who the Sentry is, who the Void is, and kind of, getting into what's going on with that character as well. So this comes to us from comicbook.com. Marvel Thunderbolts reveals first look at Superman star's new character. So, Marvel Studios' latest Thunderbolts trailer debuted during the Super Bowl, offering the first substantial look at how the CIA director Valentina Allegra DeFontaine, that's a mouthful, assembles her controversial team of anti-heroes. The footage starts with a high-stakes public hearing where Valentina argues that with the Avengers nowhere to be found, global threats rising, America needs a new line of defense. And I have a theory about the Thunderbolts title with the asterisks. I think towards the end of the movie, it's going to come up with the Thunderbolts, with the asterisks, and then it's going to change into the Dark Avengers. That's a big theory that's been going around now for a very long time, that the Thunderbolts will become the Dark Avengers. And I think that's a pretty cool theory. I hope that it happens, because that sounds pretty damn cool. I would love a Dark Avengers movie in the future. But it's just a theory. We'll have to see if that comes to light. So the footage starts, I already read that bit, with a high-stakes public hearing. Valentina argues that the Avengers are nowhere to be found, with global threats rising. America needs a new line of defense. The spotlight falls on Superman star Wendell Pierce, who appears as an influential political figure weighing DeFontaine's proposal alongside other officials, while former Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes, obviously played by Sebastian Stan, stands next to Valentina, ready to demonstrate what her proposed team can do. So yeah, I mean, it's like I say, real world kind of Winter Soldier kind of grounded stakes here, where we're going through kind of public grounded channels. If this was to happen in real life, obviously you'd have to have kind of like a public hearing or a Senate hearing. I'm not exactly sure how the American political system works fully, as I'm not American myself. But you would have to have some sort of discourse around this course of action. I mean, you're putting these kind of mercenaries into the public, out in public, doing these kind of dangerous missions where potentially the public could be hurt. So obviously you would need to have these hearings. So it's kind of a realistic take here, which I kind of like. So as the Super Bowl portrays, Marvel's positioning Pierce, still undisclosed character, as a crucial figure in the political landscape. That means that it will have two important superhero roles in 2025, as he's already set to appear as the Daily Planet editor Perry White in James Gunn's Superman this July. So that's pretty cool. The guy gets to be in Superman and Thunderbolts, which is pretty damn cool. Since Pierce seems to be leading the public hearing in the new trailer, he could determine if Valentina's questionable team gets the green light. Well, whether the team gets the green light or not, we know they're going to be in action. We know they're going to be taking on the Sentry. So either way, we're going to get some pretty damn cool action here. So the Super Bowl footage also reveals the scale of DeFontaine's ambitions for the Thunderbolts initiative, operating from the former Avengers Tower in New York City. That's another cool thing that I like as well. Now repurposed as their headquarters, the team appears to have significant resources at their disposal. This level of backing suggests Pierce's character may just be one part of a larger network of political supporters who see the Thunderbolts as a necessary evolution in superhuman affairs, despite the obvious risks of empowering individuals with questionable histories. They've definitely got questionable histories, that's for sure. There's no way that they would get the green light in real life to do this, but you never know. I guess when you think about it, in real life, there are kind of like these black ops, shadow ops kind of groups that operate in the shadows that I guess the public would never know about. So I guess I guess it could happen. Who knows? But we're talking about comic book. We're talking about comic book storylines here in the real world. So I mean, you know, we just don't know, do we? I mean, come on. So in addition to the Winter Soldier, Valentine's recruits also include expert assassin Yelena Belova, obviously played by Florence Pugh, Russian super soldier Red Guardian, played by David Harbour. That's going to be one to watch. I think he's going to be such a fun character. The trailers, he's looked fantastic in the trailers. And disgraced super soldier US agent Wyatt Russell. Again, I love Wyatt Russell as this character. I really loved him in the Disney Plus series. Captain and what's it called again? Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, I really liked him in that. All individuals who don't fit too well into the hero template. So how could the Thunderbolts change the MCU forever? So this is kind of what we're interested to see, the ramifications of this movie going forward. So Marvel Studios' shift towards exploring morally complex territory through Thunderbolts marks a significant evolution in their post-Infinity Saga storytelling. Unlike Avengers, who largely operated independently despite government oversight attempts, the Thunderbolts appear to be explicitly working as government operatives. This fundamental differences raise questions about control, accountability, and the true cost of protection in a world we're still recovering from the blip. So yeah, I find that really, really interesting. You know, dealing with government oversight when it comes to superheroes, it's a very realistic take on superhero mythology, something that would happen in the real world, like I keep going back to, and it grounds the Marvel Cinematic Universe down to a human level that we can get on board with. Even though I do like multiverse stories to a degree, and obviously we're going to get a lot of that with the next Avengers movies, it's kind of hard to relate to multiverse stories when you got these branching timelines and narratives crossing over and cosmic beings and stuff. It becomes a lot less kind of, what's the word, kind of approachable from a human perspective. Whereas when you have these very grounded stories, it's more relatable to the everyday Joe like myself. We can see it happening in the real world, and it becomes a little bit more realistic when we're watching it. So the political thriller elements on display in the Super Bowl spot suggest the Thunderbolts will delve deeper into the murky waters of superhuman regulation than previous MCU entries. Director Drake Schreier, known for small character-driven films like Paper Towns, appears to be bringing a more grounded approach to the material. Which is what I think a lot of people want to go back to now, the grounded approach. The emphasis on political hearings and bureaucratic power struggles present a sharp contrast to traditional superhero spectacles, though the trailer's action sequences promise the film won't skimp on major set pieces. The trailer also reveals how the Thunderbolts builds on plot elements established throughout Phase 4 and Phase 5 of the MCU, from Valentina's shadowy recruitment efforts to the growing public distrust of traditional heroes. The film appears poised to address numerous dangling narrative threads, which is excellent considering the MCU is currently headed to climax of the multiverse saga. Thunderbolts arrives in theaters May the 2nd. So yeah, that's a great take. It's just talking about the grounded perspective of this movie, and it's a tonal shift where it seems that Marvel is kind of sliding back to the earlier phases, where these grounded approach to movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know, that's where they were really firing on all cylinders. Obviously, Phase 4 and 5, they've kind of missed the beat a little bit. A lot of fans have been kind of stale on what Marvel have been putting out in recent years. So I think they've realised that, and they've begun to shift back to the more grounded approach to some of these movies. Obviously, we've just had the Fantastic Four trailer. That's in no way a grounded approach with the Fantastic Four. And like I say, with the Avengers films, obviously they're not going to be grounded either with multiverse going on. But once the multiverse saga has come to an end, and we may go back to a more grounded approach in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But before we finish off the video, I just want to go over to this. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the Sentry character that we got in the Super Bowl trailer, let's have a quick read about his abilities, his powers, and, you know, some of his origin and basically what the character is all about. So what is the Void? Thunderbolts villain explained. So the comics eventually revealed that the mentally ill Bob, by ingesting the Professor's Golden Sentry Serum, created two personas. The Golden Boy superhero Sentry, and his villainous counterpart, the Void. As the Void, Bob subconsciously killed 1 million people in an attack that destroyed half the city. Obviously, we had a look at the Void in the new trailer as well. Kind of, we saw the blackness kind of enveloping over New York City. He eventually turned to the Fantastic Four's Reed Richards and the Sorcerer Doctor Strange to make everyone forget that the Sentry existed, the only way to prevent the Void from causing the end of everyone's existence. Obviously, we're talking about comic book narratives. They're probably not going to be following this in the movie narrative, so just bear that in mind. Because the Void is the antithesis of the Sentry, the Void vanished when Bob's superhero identity was effectively erased. So he went to Doctor Strange and Reed Richards to make everyone forget about him, therefore forgetting about Sentry, and kind of the Void was made vanished at the same time. So, Bob was imprisoned in a S.H.I.E.L.D. maximum security prison for supervillains, but when the Sentry returned, so did the Void. In yet another twist to his convoluted backstory, the second Sentry miniseries revealed that Bob's true persona is the malevolent Void, and it's the Sentry who is the manufactured personality. In a retcon of Sentry's origins, the serum that gave him the power of 1 million exploding suns. It gave him the power of 1 million exploding suns. That's just incomprehensible. That's just crazy. Was created by Project Sentry, a government operation that attempted to recreate the super soldier serum that transformed Steve Rogers into Captain America. So there we go, guys. That's kind of his origin there. He took the super serum. They tried to copy the super serum that was used for Steve Rogers, and it created the Sentry, and it created the Void at the same time. And the Void was actually using the Sentry as a kind of phony persona. And the Void ended up killing over 1 million people, which is kind of crazy. But the power of the Sentry cannot be understated. Like, this guy is so damn powerful. But the Void, man. Whew! The Void. We saw it in the trailer where the Void was kind of vanishing people. This kind of screenshot here. So how the Thunderbolts are going to take this guy on, I have no idea. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this fight turns out. But guys, that's kind of where we are. So that's a bit of a breakdown there of the Thunderbolts trailer, talking about the more grounded approach, kind of the Senate hearings, about getting the green light for the Thunderbolts to go ahead and kind of protect the city. So we'll have to see how those kind of public hearings turn out. And also, we get a bit about the Sentry there, kind of the Void and the Sentry, the kind of the good side. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there with the Void and the Sentry. You know, kind of one being a good character, one being a bad character, but ultimately it's the same person. And we'll have to see how the Void takes over New York City, how the Thunderbolts managed to stop him, and that's going to be a great kind of narrative thrust for this movie. But guys, you hear this breakdown for this movie. What do you think about it? Are you excited by the new Super Bowl trailer? Do you think it's the more kind of grounded approach, Sentry notwithstanding? And are you looking forward to this movie? Did you like what you saw in the new Super Bowl Thunderbolts trailer? Let me know down below, guys, what stands out to you. What do you like so far about this movie? And are you more looking forward to this movie or Captain America? Which movie do you think looks better in your opinion? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. So jump in the comment section and let us know. As always, guys, thanks so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't already. It goes a long way to supporting the content, so I always appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video.